Hey VC, Tony back. Tony's LPs are us. You can see I'm smiling. Finally got this in the mail this morning, maybe around 12. I wasn't home when it was delivered, but really happy about it. I'll go over the legacy of what it went through to get here. Basically, 11 days since it shipped. It shipped late. As you know, I've been ranting. I ordered this on May 17th, and today is June 10th, and it finally arrived. It was shipped 10 or 11 days ago from Rhino, and I don't blame Rhino for some of this delay. FedEx had it supposed to be delivered on Thursday. It's now Monday. FedEx sends me a email, because I had the tracking email, which I set up, saying that the item was not deliverable, resident not home, or business closed, which was all bullshit because it's not a business. I was home, and this doesn't require a signature. So normally FedEx just leaves it on your porch. In my case, they do it on the porch. They're very nice about that. So all BS. Contact the customer service on FedEx. They told me, yeah, we're sorry, that was a false email. A friend of mine, same way. He still hasn't gotten his copy, ordered it on the same day I ordered it. So hopefully he'll get his copy tomorrow. But here it is. Whatever happened with FedEx, it came safe. It was in a professional mailer. No type of foam or anything inside, no bubble wrap, but it arrived safe. The box was a typical mailer that you could buy anywhere, but on the outside it was covered in a poly envelope, and that was all scuffed up, so I was kind of worried. But as you can see here, just perfect in every way. Really, really nice. And this is number 3621 of 5,000. So even though I ordered it the first day, it's just pulled randomly. So however you ordered it is no indication of what number you will get. I'm not really worried about the numbers anymore. 5,000 is nothing for this record. Nothing. Here's the gatefold. I haven't cracked it. That's the inside. This is the gatefold that was on the UK pressings. I'm not sure if it was on the green Warner, because I have a palm Warner that I'm going to talk about. So that's not a gatefold. I don't know if the green Warner was a gatefold, but from what I believe, that the gatefolds were only the verticos that were issued in the UK. And it's different because the track list was different. But really cool. You know, Rhino, does great work. It's just unfortunate that in this typical situation, their shipping, their customer service, as far as letting the customer know the details, was a debacle. You could go on my other video, which I talked about. I'm getting 60 or 70 messages, all similar to what I told you about in that video. But past that, past FedEx dilemma, where it was supposed to be here on Thursday, got here on a Monday, and the really reason why I wanted to get this was because I wanted to get a review in, I wanted to listen to it, and I wanted to talk about it on my channel. Normally I could wait. It's not that I need to have it, like I said yesterday. I wanted it in a timely fashion, and that's why I ordered it in a very timely fashion. But luckily I did, because it's sold out. It's not going online for up to 180, 160, 150 plus shipping and handling and all that other stuff. So, I loathe to say this, but if you missed out, it's worth the 150. I have a really clean copy of a palm tree, which is an artisan from the Artisan tapes. So I just the lacquer was cut at Artisan. This is the tape box that came with this record. So my copy, it's here. I talked about it. A really nice copy, very clean. It's got the inner. It's not a gatefold. Just going to show you again if you haven't seen it. The back has the song tracks, because I guess on the UK the song tracks were on the inside, so maybe only the Vertigo was a gatefold. But this is the palm tree, which was the same US tape. There's a US tape and a Vertigo tape. Rhino used the US tape. That was probably a copy that was sent over from the UK, a different song on it, but just perfect. This sounds perfect. Now I heard some reviews I listened to that the reviewer wasn't happy with his green Artisan, green Warner, wasn't happy with it at all, and also indicated that he didn't think it was a good recording to start with. I tend to disagree. Maybe his system is too good to appreciate this. My system is a modest system. It's a great system, but I just think this is so well recorded, and this tops it, but it doesn't blow it out by 50%. It's 20-25%. It's up there. I'll just show you the original palm that I have, and this is near mint. So if you don't have a good copy to do an AB, it really isn't worth it. The reviewer was saying it's really hard to get a clean green Warner. Of course, it's hard to get people who have those aren't giving them up, and the people that have their VGs and below, or VG, but not even VG plus are good. The VGs below, they're trying to get rid of them. I don't like to buy old records. If I don't have an old record, I'll wait for a good pressing like this, or I'll go to a record store and have them play it for me if I'm going to buy it at a used record store. I wouldn't buy it online. Now here's the new beautiful label by Rhino. So you have the tape insert. I'm going to show you again the tape box insert. It's really nice. It has the original engineer, talks about the recording, talks about what they used, talks about the mood of the session. It was recorded in 2 10, 12-hour sessions mixed in 2 10-hour sections. And then he said that the band went off to do a gig. They didn't mix. The band was not there for the mixing. Just like some of the Beatle records weren't involved early on. But here's the inside. Really some nice information. Really thick paper. You can hear that. This again is one of the top jackets of all time. Here it comes with an obi, which you get here, and like I said, this was immaculate. It came in a box with a poly sleeve over it, so it was in a nice box. It really held up well in shipping. This is 180 gram, cut from original analog master tapes by Kevin Gray for coherent audio. Now, like I said, this is the original, or the original US tapes. The Vertigo tapes are owned by someone else, so Rhino does not have access to those tapes. And from what I hear on some of the reviews that I've listened to, that the Vertigo is more iconic in theory or hypothetical only. It doesn't sound as good as the lacquer cut at Artisan, which was the green Warner. So the Vertigo, even though it's a Vertigo label, it's an iconic label. I only have one Vertigo. That's my Paranoid Blacks Out, which sounds great. I also have an original Paranoid from US, but I don't have an original of this on Vertigos, but he was saying that he puts that like third or fourth in his ratings of his different Black Sabbath self-titles. This is number one. This is number one. This is what I will listen to forever. This will not come off my turntable for a long time. And I'm going to go into some of the nuances. But heavyweight gatefold jacket, exclusive insert with commentary by engineer Tom Alam, I believe, or Alam. Limited numbered edition, 5,000. So what I will do, I will put this back in its shrink. I pull the shrink off nicely, put it with the Obi, cover it in another plastic. Before I listened to this, I cleaned it with my VPI, cleaned it once, also cleaned it with clean distilled water, and it just sounds, man, I always recommend you clean your new records as well. There's a lot of stuff in there. This record, though, it's clean when you pull it. It's dead quiet. It's black quiet, no pun intended. Just an amazing performance by Rhino. Now, Rhino's hitting these out of the park, quality-wise. I think they rival the one-steps that are double the money. I think they rival the UHQRs that are double the money. I don't have a lot of the jazz, tone poets, and things like that. But for the money, originally, these are bargains, and now they're going for twice the original price. But if you want one, you're going to have to pay for it. Now, when I first put this on, like I said, I cleaned it. I listened to the original that I have, my original, which is a palm tree, which sounds amazing. Okay, and if you put these two together here, you have a kind of somehow can't do it here. It's reversed, but there's the two back to back. Very nice color wise, very similar. This doesn't have the Warner emblem, just says stereo. Doesn't have the original number, obviously, which is 1871. Doesn't have the printed tracks on it. This is plain. These tracks are in the gatefold, just to show you again. I know I'm repeating myself, but I'm really excited about this record. So what I did was I listened to this, because this was so delayed. I listened to this at least 4 times prior to getting this, and I listened to this twice, which is quick. It's maybe a 40-minute record total or whatever, but it's black quiet. It's just immersive when you get into it. The rain that comes down, the bells, the mood, and the engineer is talking about that in his interview, his Q&A here, talks about how they added, or the producer added, the bells and the rain was from a sound effects record, so, but it sets the mood, and the bells are in the distance. They had to get the right audio echo and audio sound so that it would sound as if it was in a distant churchyard or chapel, whatever this was supposed to represent. But it set the mood for the album, which was dark. But this album is the mother of heavy metal, the father of heavy metal, the dark father of heavy metal. But for me, when I first heard this record years ago, I always thought it was bluesy and jazzy and just tremendous. Now, the reviewer that I saw a couple of reviews. One person said he didn't think it was a good recording. I'm going, he gave Kevin Gray all the credit for making this record sound so good. I'm saying, well, listen to the palm tree. He didn't listen to a palm tree. He listened to a Vertigo, and he listened to the green lacquer cut Artisan Green Warner. So I don't know, maybe that was a bad pressing. Don't forget, all pressings and all labels aren't equal. So to say it wasn't a good recording because you heard it on one record, it can't be. It's not a bad recording. It would not be iconic if it was a bad recording. They recorded this on, I believe, 2 4-track machines, similar to the early Sgt. Pepper, 67, 68, 66, 4 tracks. So they had to mix down, they had to bump down. This is probably down to like 4 generations, but it sounds so good. The original sounds so good. This sounds better. Kevin Gray did hit it out of the park. It sounds better. Ozzy is better. Ozzy's up front. The guitars are there. The highs are there. The mid-range are there. Check all the boxes. It's all there. I can't say anything bad about either recording. Now, it doesn't make this sound bad. It makes this still sounds good. Because if you could buy a near mint copy of this, you're going to be paying $150 anyway. So that's it. Like I said, if you don't have a good copy of this, don't even bother comparing it, because it's apples and oranges, right? So I always try to compare, or I'll borrow a record from a friend who has a better copy than I have. I'll always try to compare one of these reissues with a really excellent to near mint copy, if possible. Now, Dead Quiet, it's just, it's a jazzy record. The drums are jazz. Side 2 starts off, as far as it could be a jazz record. It could be not jazz fusion, old time jazz, just bopping along. You go into an air guitar mode when you listen to either of these pressings, okay? It's just incredible. It's immersive. The hi-hat, it's just so cool. It's just so cool. Bill Ward is on drums, Geezer Butler, bass, Tommy Iommi, lead guitar, Ozzy Osbourne, vocals, and harmonica. The harmonica here rings like a bell on here. Okay, it is so good. It's also good on the original. It's just, they're both good. This is better, of course. It's just better vinyl. It's modern. They didn't redo it. What you hear in this, you hear in that. There's no changes in that. It's not like an Allen remaster where he's going to move stuff around like he did Chicago and did Tull and did Yes. I think it's Allen. I think that's his last name. But these guitars on this by the original kids who did this, they ring like a bell. It's like Chuck Berry ringing Johnny B. Good like a bell. They invented a genre. They invented, the first step into heavy metal. I think, for me, the first 2 Zeppelins are heavier in a way, 69. This came later, obviously, but this was supposed to be the mother of heavy metal because it's that dark, more heavy, and the bass on here is just, it talks to you. The bass on this, it's just, Black Sabbath is amazing. Wicked World is amazing. Sleep Village, just, like I said, side 2 starts off like a jazz record. Even the drumming, it's almost like he has brushes. I don't know technically what did he use, but they're all over the place. He was listening to some jazz, man. They were listening to some jazz. I don't know what they were on, but whatever it was. Now, they recorded this in 2 days, basically, right? Now, you say, wow, it's amazing. But how much work, how much effort, how much planning did they put into the rehearsals to get to the studio? When you have no money, you can't lay around the studio. They recorded this for 500 quid, whatever 500 quid is. Is it $500 American? But, they say, wow, like the Beatles, they recorded their first Beatle record with George Martin in a day. But they were playing those songs for probably a year. 5 times a day. It was innate. It was a part of their DNA. So, although you might be amazed that they recorded this in one day, that's because they were prepared. The studio was, I believe, was Regent or Trident Studios. Let me see here. This has it on here. Let's see here. Regent. So the mastering was done at Trident, and the album was done its entirely at Regent, according to the engineer. So a small studio, not the best equipment. They had a few mics. They were talking about the mics in here. So the essays in here and the Q&A are interesting. You can get some of that information elsewhere, but it's nice to have it. Like I said, Rhino does a great job, but I kind of got off what I was going. But 1 day, 2 days recorded. That's because they were prepared. Normally a band will go into the studio with nothing, just a sketch. So of course it's going to take 3 months, 4 months. So these young lads, these 4 guys, legends now, bigger than ever, bigger than so many bands that came and went. Band's 50 years old. So they were prepared, just like the Beatles were prepared. Probably Tull, Aqualung, they were prepared when Jethro Tull took his guys, or Ian Anderson took his guys into the studio to do Aqualung. I'm sure they were prepared. They rehearsed, they did their thing. The producer was on target. So all in all, it's a team effort. It's not just the band goes in there, recorded in 2 days. But just amazing, and you will not be disappointed. This record kicks ass. The original kicks ass. Like I said, I don't have a green Warner. I have this palm tree Warner, which for me, I have a palm tree machine head that I love. That I think I didn't even buy the machine head reissues because I think that was more of just a 50th or 60th anniversary reissue. But if Rhino does machine head, believe me, line up, because 5,000 copies will be 2 days. It would sell out in 2 days. Okay, this sold out in 5 days. So now if you want it, you're going to have to go online and try to pick one up. But very cool. We love it. I love it. You're going to love it. Rhino did a great job, even though we had some difficulties getting it to the customer. Rhino was overwhelmed. We know that story. Sold out 4 or 5 days, 5,000 copies. They have to ship them. And that's it. Now you have people saying, oh, I wish I would have gotten it. I wish I would have gotten it. If you want something like this, just buy it. You could always, if you don't like it, you could always sell it to a record store, sell it to a friend, trade it. You'll always recover what you paid on something like this. But like I said, this is an air guitar record. This is a foot stomping record. These 4 guys, they're probably in their 20s at the time. How do they come up with this stuff? Like I said, it's jazzy, it's bluesy. If you read the lyrics, it's their love songs that sound gothic. I really can't explain it. I'm not that articulate to explain anything that is this articulate. But what really struck me is the last song, Warning, and the last line in Warning is, this is all too strong, or it's all too strong. So all too strong, I believe, is the last line. You could correct me, but strong is in there, and this is a strong record. This is a strong record. This is a record that you'll hear it, you'll play it 3 or 4 times in a row. You have to sit there in the center of your speakers get that vibe. Oh, I wanted to also say, I listened to parts of it with headphones. I have a nice Bauer and Wilkins set of headphones. And this record is a headphone record. I listened to the entire Palm Tree on headphones a couple days ago as well, because I start to hear this separation. Ozzy's in left, Ozzy's in right, guitars in right, bass is left, bass is through the center, drums are here, bells. So I said this would be a great record for headphones. And man, if you like to listen to headphones, if you want to be private because you may live in a condo or a townhouse where you can't crank it as I crank it, this record is a headphone record all the way. So that's my take on it. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Again, thanks everyone for the subs. Please leave comments. I really appreciate it. If you haven't subbed, please do so. Please like. Really helps out the channel. I really try to bring you some good insight. I try to be more specific than other reviewers and just using catchphrases like soundstage. Although this soundstage is a little wider than the soundstage in the original, but this record is sonically superior, not by much, because it shouldn't be, because this is a great record. Rhino is not going to do a record that sucks. Chad is not going to do a UHQR if the tapes aren't good, if the record isn't good. He did Asia. I think this rivals Asia. I think this is as good a recording as Asia. Asia's more of an articulate, nuanced jazz record, but this is different. This is heavy. This rocks you. Asia will put you to sleep. This is going to keep you from having, you'll have nightmares, okay? So it's a headphone record. It's a foot stomping record. It's an air guitar record. It's just a great record. It's a record that they did a great job in picking this one. And I know Steve Westman had a hand in asking them to do Black Sabbath. So I'm asking them, which I know is not going to happen, do Machine Head. Yeah, I could think of other ones, but do Machine Head. It's Warner, but Machine Head was just reissued as an anniversary issue. I think Zappa's Kid remastered it or produced it or whatever. Zeeble with a Z, Frank Zappa's son. So anyway, thanks again. Like I said, if you haven't subbed, please do so. I really appreciate all the likes and leave the comments. But this is great. One more look. There's the back. Here's the original US. It's got the tracks on there. And I went over the history of this record on a previous video before I got this, so I'm well prepared. I know this record pretty good. It's just amazing. It moves. I don't know if it's considered a concept record, but it moves like a concept record. And like I said, for these young lads in their 20s, maybe 22, to do this, you know, we have to give credit to the producer. The producer's on this. He gets credit. I think he was definitely an underrated producer. That is Roger Bain. Hats off to Roger Bain. Hats off to the lads. Here's a picture of the engineer. And I talk about the engineer. I talk about the studio in my previous video. So, thanks again. Here's the tape. You get this insert free of charge. Beautiful gatefold. Heavy, heavy cardboard. Rhino did a nice job shipping this one to me. I didn't have any problems with it. So thanks, Rhino. I hope you get your act together as far as shipping out the next one, because we'll be buying the next one. We're really anxious to hear what that will be. So keep rocking. Thanks a lot. Tony's LPs are us signing out. Stay safe and put this on the table if you can. Thank you. Bye-bye.